Thank you for joining me. My name is Gray. I'm going through the book of Psalms. Today we're looking at chapter 58. It's a psalm written by David. We don't have a title. Well, we do have a title, but it doesn't give us a description in terms of when it was written. So let's just jump into it. But the theme is pretty simple. It's about God's judgment. So let's find out what Psalm 58 is all about. Verse 1 says, do you rulers indeed speak justice? Do you judge people with equity? So it tells you exactly who David is going to be referring to. He's referring to the rulers and the judges. Verse 2 says, no, in your heart you devise injustice, and your hands mete out violence on the earth. So he comes to the rulers and the judges and says that you people who God has given you this authority, instead of doing justice, you keep doing wrong and you keep oppressing the people, bringing violence on the earth. And before we start to say, okay, so it's only about the rulers and the judges, it is pretty much anyone who has some form of authority that God has given them. What do I mean? If you're a father, you're a wife. If you're a sister, you're a brother, you're an uncle. If you're a teacher, any authority, if you're in that authority, do realize and recognize that God has given, even if you're church leader, God has given you that authority. And then for you to use that to oppress people, these are the people that Psalm 58 is calling out now. And David goes on to talk about them and see how bad they were. It says, even in the womb, it says, even when you were born with that wickedness. But verse 4 says that their venom is like the venom of a snake, like that of a cobra that has stopped its ears, that will not hit to the tune of the charmer. So the reason I'm reading this out is because most of the times when we're talking about evil people or wicked people, we always say there's a chance for them to turn around. We should give them a chance that maybe they will, they'll give their life to Jesus. But the verse 4 explains, 4 and 5 explains that these people have closed their ears. It says that like that of a cobra that has stopped his ears, that will not hear to the tune of the charmer. So they've closed ears to God and to his word. They've hardened their hearts and they've set their mind that this is our life. It's going to be a life of violence. So David then in verse 6 starts talking about sort of like bringing a curse on them, telling God this is what you ought to do with them. It says, break their teeth in their mouths, O God, so disarm them, so that they are no longer fearful. It says, let them vanish like water, let them draw their bow and let their arrows fall short. Yeah, just take away all the weaponry on them. And with verse 9, before your pots can feel the heat of the thorns, whether they be green or dry, the wicked will be swept away. This you can relate to if you've ever go camping or wherever you are. You cook with open fire and use wood, and this is what he's saying, that you were using thorns then. So if you use those thorns, before the fire from the thorns hits up the pot, the people who are they're abusing power and meting violence to other people, those will be destroyed. Verse 10, the righteous will be glad when they are avenged, when they dip their feet in the blood of the wicked. Verse 11, the people will say, surely the righteous are still rewarded. Surely there is a God who judges the earth. So David is saying that when the people see that the evil people, the wicked people are being destroyed by God, they will praise God and say, surely God is still on the throne. Surely there's a God who judges the earth. Now, from where you and I are sitting, we see a lot of things going wrong in this world. We see rulers taking advantage of their positions and just abusing it to an unimaginable length. We see fathers, we see mothers, we see loads of people, and you wonder, what is wrong with them? Do they not know God? And we always wonder, is God not seeing this? Rest be assured from Psalm 58 that God will see. And there will come a time that those that are doing the wicked thing will be destroyed. And then the people will say, surely the righteous still are rewarded. Because right now, sometimes it feels like it's the wicked that are winning because they've got all the money, they abuse the power and they get away with it. But surely there will come a time when they'll have to answer before God. And then at that time, even here on the earth, God will punish them. And then the righteous will say, yes, it's worth it to be righteous, because you do not get the wrath of God. So be encouraged, brothers and sisters, when they see the wicked doing wrong. Just remember, God is still on the throne and God sees it and God will judge. God bless you.